Hey everyone, welcome back. It's the part 3 of the Fire Series figure reviews by Funkles. This time, part 3, look at the Fire Series Series 3 secure or sister location, aka Circus Animatronics. Now, Fire Series sister location, you may not know this game, it's probably traumatizing for diehard fans. This is probably the darkest Fire Series game at all. This is probably one of the darkest science fiction games of all time. It's dark, disturbing, and I won't get spoiled at the ending of this one. So this single way was only has four circus animatronics, and one is build a figure of Enter. So we'll start with getting all the way to the end, get to the build a figures enters. So let's start this off is the circus baby. Unlike most of these four electronics, she does not have jump scares. She is the only the animatronics to disobey her to help with the security Michael Affin. So she is a female animatronic, and I won't get spoiler. She is a daughter of Affin. It was didn't see that coming. I was like, holy crap! Yeah, you haven't played the sister location to check that out. So this singer is a circus thing. It looks pretty accurate. It looks just like he did. It looks the video game accurate. And her surgery, she comes her microphone. Nice little detail. Comes her microphone. And she looks as nice detail, just a red and orange and silver plastic. And this it can fit his hand. It's nice to fit his hand. Now the head sculpt for Circus A looks nice but pretty accurate. Looks really creepy. It's got hairs, it's got a robot doll face with a clown's on it with red nose with green eyes. With a purple. It really be nice to have face open, reveal shows exoskeleton. The rest of the night shows in the least. I like has a fan his stomach, his belly buttons, nice little gloves, hands, or red pawns, nice little red tutus, nice little red things. No, I'm not gonna nice little shoes and has little Chester shoes. Looks pretty nice little detailed figures. Now, this figure is stands about he's a 4.5 inches. He is really smaller compared to the other Final figures. Now, articulation for Circus Bay only has head rotatable joint, can rotate 360 degrees. It does get down side to side. And his arms goes up and down, goes in and out that much. No bicep sole, and it does get bend the elbows. It does get swivel wrist movement. It does get waist movement. And his leg is forwards and back goes in and out that much. Then the knee, and that's about our articulation. Pretty cool and pretty look accurate. She is pretty cinematic in the animatronics character from the Final history. Next is Ballora. She is another female animatronics. She is based on dancers. Looks pretty detailed. Looks nice ones. Now this figure stands about. I believe this figure stands about. He's 16 inches, and here's a size compared to. I believe that was the 5.5 inches without stands. And speaking of her stand, she comes with her surgery and she comes with her stands. Nice little peg here. This looks nice detail. Down the bottom is written on it says 2017. They came out 2017. Nice little peg here. This. Now, as her figure itself, as far as her figure itself, she looks as pretty detailed and just eyes closed. Because apparently it gets jump scare, eyes open. I think she looks nice detail. Looks pretty creepy one, or like his detail on his chest. I think Funko did nail a good job. Looks pretty accurate. Like the little tutus one. It's got little nails of paint. It's got little hands of nails. So it has a little foot. It's overall pretty nice little detail to this one's. As far as my biggest complaint is, this foot here is the problem is it cannot stand, she'll fall over. It's a really pain in the butt. Now, for articulation for Ballora, It does get head can rotate, ball joint. Does up and down, side to side. His arms goes up and down, goes in and out that much. He has a bent elbow, the wrist, and does get waist articulation. His leg is forwards and back, goes in and out that much. Then the knee looks pretty nice one. It does a little peg. So overall, if you want to peg here. So overall, looks pretty nice, awesome figure. Sadly, she does not come with mini. What is the name? The neuros, that little mini Bolora's drones, that spider ones. And speaking of spider, if you wanted their spinning look like, act like spider look like that, yeah, you want to make like a spider pose. So yeah, that is the Bolora. Move on to the next one, we have Funtime Foxy from Sister Location. Not to be confused from Funtime Foxy from Sears 2. Now this figure of Funtime Foxy looks pretty actually good. Looks just it looks pretty good. It looks just like the viewing act. I like how his detail is just his eyes. Like has a red lipstick. He has that weird speaker on his chest. There's a speaker jet on this has a red bow tie. Here's a better look. Here's a better look at his head sculpt. And she looks pretty accurate looks. Sorry about my parents, the background noise and necklace. Let's ignore that. I like how his eyes and yellows. I kind of wish he has missing lines, his black lines, like eyes and face shape. And that's all back. I really like he has a get a lot of his hands or look like nail paint. It looks like paint nails, fingernails. I like how his tails is the plastic. Sadly, you cannot move his tail, which is pretty unfortunately in that one. This figure stands about 5.5 inches. Articulation for Funtime Foxy, he does get head to rotate, does up and down that much side to side. His arms goes up and down, goes in and out that much. He has an elbow, and the wrist can rotate, and his swivel waist. Little tight. Mine's head looks like elbows just loose. His leg is forward, and back goes in and out, then the knee, and that's about it. Oh, and there is a variant for Funtime Foxy. I think its name is Walgreens Exclusives of LL Bit. It was a character from the Security Night or Sister Location from Extra Night. This figure is the same mold except the orange. He is really rare. He's rare. He's hard to find. So unfortunately, I would not get. He's pretty expensive. Last but not least, we have Funtime Freddy with Bon Bon. Now, this figure looks pretty awesome. He's a pretty cool character from the games. I like his. He looks just like he did a video. Looks accurate. Now, let's take a look at his surgery. Surgery first. He comes with a microphone. It's a microphone. It's just a pink instead of gray and black. To fit nice as hand as this one's. Now let's take a look at this Bon Bon. He looks pretty good. It's just like looks string accurate. The only complaint was I have looks like his paint is on his black. Looks like a bump or scratch of paint, or maybe the factory just accident. Sadly, you can't rotate his wrist. This wrist cannot rotate. This is disappointment. And his arms can't move. He's just stuck in a waiting. He's like, hello. Speaking of wrist, here is a look at head sculpt for Freddy Funtime Freddy. Looks is pretty good. It looks pretty accurate. It looks just like he did a video game course. And the rest of the body has a speaker with black tie, has a buttons. It looks like it needs a dark purple. They could have just bright paint. They did not rest the painted. As for articulation, I am the same as the others. It does get wrist can rotate. It does get swivel waist. And his leg is forward and back goes in and out. Neat. So, that's about it. So that's about articulation. I kind of really wish that Bondman would have little articulation or rotate wrist. You cannot remove. So that's kind of really disappointing. Not a bad one. I think it's pretty good one this one. Last but not least, we had to build a figure of Anner. I know who the heck is Anner. Anner is the main antagonist in Trunk who's appeared towards the end of Sister Location. Yeah, spoiler, he's actually animatronic. These all three, they were destroyed by some called Scooping Room. Apparently, he appears in animatronic and then he says scoop, and it gets Michael Evans hit a face and later became Purple Guy. And that's about the last time we see him. We don't find out what happened to him. This year, Aaron, the very first time I saw him, scared a heck of me. He is a collective build of figures. Like his detail, just an exoskeleton, size of wires. That kind of reminds me of bionicle looking, some kind of exoskeletons. Looks pretty nasty. It looks pretty sick, disgusting. Has little eyeballs with metal wires. Shows little detailed eyeballs. That looks pretty cool. This detailed, nasty looking details. Speaking of nasty look, let's take a look at his head sculpt. The head sculpt looks really creepy. It has a clown mask. One thing that kind of really missing his eyebrows. He's missing eyebrows. And his top party hat, he's missing green lines. Or I might as well better customize him that. This. Sadly, you cannot take this mask off. This is really disappointment. I thought it would be cool when we had a mask removed. Shows a true face would be hideous nightmare fuels. Speaking of scales here, I almost completely forgot. Funtime Freddy is 6.5 inches. This guy only has 5.5 inches tall. Articulation for Ender, he does get head can rotate for 60 degrees. It does get a ball joint. It does go up and down, side to side. His arms goes up and down, goes in and out that much. Then the elbows rotate. It does get wrist can rotate 360 degrees. Sadly, no waist articulations. He does get the legs forwards and back. Oh, oops. Goes backwards. Can't go out. Can't go out because of the joints. Then at the knee, and that's about articulations. So there's my review. Overall, I think this circus animatronic. Oh, I'm sorry, not circus animatronic. Funtime-tronic. I'm sorry, not circus-tronic. My bad. Sorry, I apologize that was Funtime-tronic, not circus animatronics. So I made a mistake. So overall, I think I'd say this is probably the best looking figure. If you're not familiar with these Funtime animatronics, these are actually pretty nice little. There's a little highly detailed articulation. Oh yeah, there was a variant for Circus Day that was the Hot Tub exclusives that looks the same mold, nothing changed. So overall, I think the Funtime-tronics or sister location, if you're a fan, they find through sister location. The beware, this figure is going to be rare. Nowadays, this figures will be very expensive. So if you wanted those all four of them complete set, well, good luck for that one if search on eBay. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. Be sure don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So thanks for watching and bye for now.